What's happening, Kyle Postlewaite, aka Malker here at Big Kitty Games. I think we've got a lot to do today. I'm not sure why these are titled SP Beta, but a number of bugs on the tracker over this last week I'm ready to get into. I want to peek at one thing real quick though. Somebody posted a picture of this a long time ago, and I thought that they were just photoshopping it and messing with me, because I'd never noticed it, and nobody had ever said anything about it before. But apparently, the female mesh has nipples, but there's something you gotta do to get it to work. It's not always. See, it doesn't. It's not going on right now. Is it just? I'm not sure how people are getting it, because I've never personally seen it. But a couple times now, people have posted screenshots of it. See, I'm not getting it. I don't know what's going on with that. Like very super obvious weird nipples. And it's certainly not intentional. Like I said, I don't see it happening. I don't know how you're supposed to get it. There might be some other bone that it's tied to, but I don't think so. Anyway, I'm almost positive there's nothing like that in the code, anyway. Upper body, there's no nipple slider. I don't know how that got started, but Stu was confirming it for me, saying that, yeah, some of his clicking random a bunch was causing it to show up. Maybe I should do all random instead of just upper body random. But for example, we've got these breast bones, but there's no nipple bone. I don't know. It's weirded me out. So it doesn't do it for me. Maybe it doesn't do it in the editor? Which again wouldn't really make sense. Well, let's go ahead and just try it. I'm not in the beta, I don't think. I should show you a screenshot of what I'm talking about, I suppose. Let's see, I want to get out of full screen, and we'll do the same thing. There should be no difference between here and beta in regards to this stuff. I don't see any nipples though. Anyway, like this is what they're posting, and I mean that's just crazy weird, right? I don't know. Like I say, I don't know how you get this. Something to do with the neck? 60% of the random characters had extended chesties. When doing basic editor for breasts, anything above them slightly got really pronounced. I don't How come I don't get this? What's up, Art? How come you get this and I don't get this? I'm not seeing how to do giant nipples. Yeah, I've been clicking on it. I'm not getting anything though. Yeah, I guess we can try it on beta. It shouldn't. I haven't changed anything in there. I was thinking like it could be the underwear mesh actually has a little pronunciation in it, but I don't see that. You would expect that to show up with everything if that was the case. But yeah, I guess we'll just try beta. I don't know why it would do that for someone and not someone else. Let's see. Oh, I am on the beta. Yeah, and I saw your screenshot too. I don't get it. Like, is there some kind of combination? If the neck gets turned up too high, it triggers it or something, but sure wouldn't think so. Alright, we're gonna watch Stu streaming it. Hmm. Didn't want to show off all your characters there. I've never done anything like that streaming. Something like neck, maybe. Yeah, it just shouldn't be anything in there. You closed your stream, Stu. You ended it. Yeah. Can you open your upper body for me? That is really weird. Can you leave the breast up and turn everything else down? Yeah. Alright. That's weird. And other people are talking about it too. I'm in Discord, right? Thank you for showing me, Stu. Who was it? Yeah, Lucy Rocket Dog said same thing. I don't know why it doesn't do that for me. Must be a video driver discrepancy or something. So, I just want to take a quick peek at, let's see. It must just be the mesh, but to get that pronounced, you gotta be a little weird. Well, basically they're, weighted bones, right? So, you can see the mesh, inside of that. There are bones, and if you scale the bones up, the mesh that is assigned to that section of bone scales up as well. It won't do it in real time for me. Oh, it will. Okay. But there's no nipple bone is the thing. It doesn't get any more precise than this. So I don't know how. Just like these 4 pixels right here, or the 4 faces, would get so pronounced. Can you make a character like that, Art, and then I'll log in to the same server? I'll log into Fletch's server, and I'm expecting it to look totally normal to me, just to confirm that. Why is there a big rock right here? That's unfortunate. And your animations are broken. Huh, you're stuck jumping. But yeah, your boobs look fine to me. That's what I wanted to confirm. I need to look at multiplayer animations apparently. Haven't looked at that recently. Let's get rid of this rock real quick. There's a number of rocks here. Anyway. Well, you look normal to me. So, it's something to do with different graphics cards. I'm going to have to bring that up in a few different places. Both Unity and that asset that I use, which is called UMA. Yeah, I would be interested to see the video card you're running. But like I say, there's no obvious nipple bulge that I can spot on these models at all, though. Because that would be totally understandable if, you know, if that was kind of part of the mesh, and then just as the breasts get enlarged, that stuff also gets pronounced with it. But there's really no visible bulge going on here. Certainly not intended. So I don't know what's causing that. It's weird, and why would it only be on certain graphics cards? But you know, that's game dev for you. Nothing makes sense. Yeah, it didn't look like that at all on my end. If you saw, the animations were sure all messed up though. It's a bummer. So lots of stuff to look at today, I think. But let's move on. I'm just gonna write that down, and I have to write up some contacts with some other people. I will just note nipples. Pretty self-explanatory. Thank you for the taking the time to show me that art. Anyway, can't harvest logs on grounds. Did I forget to make some of them? Started a new SP game with a new character and new world. How's about we peek at... let's see. Decorations. I don't think actually where are they? Prefabs, decorations, dead branches, for example. That's the swamp. Dead trunk, that's swamp. Oh, I'm on I'm on production right now. Default. We'll have to get back to this. That's beta. That's beta. Actually, they're all beta. Beta, beta, beta. These are improvements. Cave golems can't move to attack. This is probably either way. Stew cave golems can't move to attack. They do attack if approached. They reset health for ranged attacks, possibly too. Can't move to attack, but they'll attack if they can get up to you, is what you're saying. Let's take a peek and then we'll switch over to beta. I did already fix, what was it, pausing in single player, and there was something else in single player, or creative. Pausing in creative, and I think I wrote it down. Sleeping. Sleeping was not set up to work in creative, so I fixed that. Nothing underwater much in the live build. Let's see here. Looking to get into animations maybe today, maybe tomorrow, depending on how many bugs we got to deal with today. This mine might be cleared out. Load it up and take a see. Yep, it's not spawning any mobs, so this one's clear. Not a problem. Lots of caves. Lots of caves. One just to the southwest. So there's a much prettier model that we could be using for the characters while still using the same system, because rewriting the system is what would be difficult. Even though there are some alternative options nowadays compared to when I first got into this. But if I were to switch the base mesh, these armor slots apparently would not work anymore because the shape of the mesh would be different. Basically the female and the male body skin would be shaped differently, to the point that some of this armor wouldn't line up, apparently. I think I'm going to give it a try anyway, though. You know, maybe it's like if you look really close at it, the neck isn't totally lined up properly or something like that, which honestly that wouldn't be a big deal. What is this guy doing on the ground? Sir, are you alright? You're playing like your death animation or something here. Yeah, it looks like he thinks he's idle. I'm just gonna move. Well, let's see. Navigation. I don't see a navigation mesh. There's a lava cave. I suppose we still have these set up to follow the player, right? Yeah. So, if I take Malcare and I whisk him over there. Looks like he stood up right away, and the nav mesh has turned on. My dude is stood up. He's not yet on the ground. However, his agent hasn't turned on yet. The AI is attempting to turn on. I'll move a little closer. Nav mesh still hasn't drawn. Should be fairly quick at that. Still hasn't drawn. How come there's no nav mesh over here? I'm pretty close. There it goes, anyway. So his nav mesh agent should now be on. It is. And he should be fully capable of wandering around. Yeah, there's wandering. Well, his attack isn't working. You don't look at stuff for just a minute and everything breaks. This guy is crazy fast too. What's up with that? Run speed is a normal 6. And the agent speed is 6. Acceleration is 40. That's not a big deal. He looks crazy fast though. I wonder if his animations are doing root motion or something. Should be off. And then his let's see. They're gonna let me rename that, huh? So I built a system for these guys at one point. I could figure out, or I could add something to him to report how much damage he's doing. I think they save their base damage. 47, he's a hero. This is only tier 3 or something though. Anyway, I set up something on entity animation. This is what it's supposed to be doing. It's not using this for some reason. Let's look at the monster AI. Looks like I opted not to use that. Even after setting it up. Wouldn't need it here, but would like to do it here. Where did I save the... It's nowhere on here. I think I just got in the habit of renaming these all. Probably doesn't want me to do that in runtime. Let's see though. Obsidian, Golem Ragdoll, we'll take a look at that. I'm going to just back off a bit. Which direction? This direction. It's weird he's so fast. We'll save, close down. What's up, Integer Man? Pretty fun stuff. As long as you don't get into a giant project like me. Let's see. We're looking at this guy's animator. We want to get rid of left and right punch. Can't I just rename these? I guess I just can't rename them in runtime. Okay. This is going to be attack 1, and this is going to be attack 2. And that will keep us from having to reapply these. It should just change them for us there. And then why is he so darn fast? What language do you write in, Art? Was it JavaScript? Yeah. Excuse me. Good lord, he's fast. That's weird. Why is that? Looks like he's set up normal. Well, these guys are only a speed 2. Huh. These guys are pretty slow, but is 2 and 6 really that different? Yeah, those guys are pretty good speed, even at 2. Alright, so I guess he's just super, super fast because he's a hero. Let's see. Size, max health, attack damage. No, I'm not triggering this. Agent speed equals run speed. Run speed goes all the way up to 10, huh? A little extreme. How did those guys get to 2 then, though? 10 level equals less than 100, 5 plus level and tier. Should be 5 plus. Those guys are 2 though. Yeah, I've heard some of that stuff is a nightmare. I used to have a high school classmate's father was a ex-military dentist. Now he was a worked by himself dentist. And he was talking about how they have to just pay all these crazy fees just to keep the systems that they're required to use up to date. All these licensing fees for really poorly written stuff. Sounds like the medical industry is fraught with that kind of thing, unfortunately. Both their speeds are set to 2 at the moment. Sorry for clearing my throat so much. It's a really nice day and allergies are being a little weird. Run speed is not visible by default, but let me take a peek at it here. Run speed 6 point. Okay, so this guy's the same as this guy. 6.15. He's just a little bit bigger. That's just a random roll because of their differences in level. But this guy goes crazy fast. I don't really see any good reason for that, is what I'm getting at here. His agent is going to jump up to 6.15 speed when he comes at me. But he's moving like a rocket. This guy, on the other hand, his agent speed is going to also go up to 6.14, but he doesn't move like a rocket. I'm not real sure what's going on here. They look the same. That guy's set to use ragdoll. This guy's set to not. That's about the only difference. And if I... No, that doesn't affect it either. Well... sounds like your what is it? Cave nav mesh generator got stuck somehow. Let me take a peek at the anonymous error reporting console. Might be something in there. If anything is ever not moving, that pretty much always means that they've fallen off of their nav mesh somehow. Got a pretty common socketing error, it looks like. Chat UI, procedural chunk. Not seeing. Well, you'll have to keep an eye on it for me, Art. Was it like all the time? Or was it just like one time you went in there and there was this certain golem that wasn't working for you? Let's switch to beta to answer these other questions. Every golem. Was it online? Single player? And in beta. I'm not in beta. Shouldn't matter though. It does sound like your nav mesh generator got stuck somehow though. Let's see. Haven't changed much. We'll switch back, put Unity back into beta mode. This will take a little bit because we've got all the new ocean assets, lots of new trees and stuff. Let's take a look at these. Can't harvest logs on the ground. What else? Virtual alloc remapping failed. Also fatal error in garbage collector. What? I was in my town clearing away the new rocks, trees, and plant spawns. I created the town prior to yesterday's updates of the trees and such. Don't know where my buildings are. Frame rate was very choppy as I teleported into town. I gave it a minute to update itself to the new area and then started clearing the new spawns overlapping my town structures. Windows chimed and the first error appeared. Virtual alloc remapping failed. Solace Crafting crash port window and the progress bar appeared behind the error window. After clicking OK. Fatal error in garbage collection. Screen flickered to black and was dropped out of Windows into the login screen for Windows. It's a memory access error, which means it's the Unity engine itself. There's probably nothing specific I can do about this, and hopefully it's just a one-time thing that this user has run into. You know, I can't go in and edit the engine. But if it's something that's super common, we need to let Unity know about it so they can fix it. So keep an eye on that. Source control has switched to beta. Stu's got... Okay, and you're in tier 8. Maybe it's a distance problem. I don't seem able to connect. There it goes. Huh, yeah. Looks like there's no nav mesh going on there. You're at 42 kilometers. I think I was not out very far. I'll double check that. We'll have to re-import some of this new stuff. I'll get that going. Be nice if I could set up a way to see. I mean, you know what's going on there. It's very obvious to me that they're not finding a nav mesh, which is an absolute prerequisite for them to be able to move. Why not is the question. So you're running an NVIDIA card. I'm running a Radeon. While this is importing, let me see some things. Of course, if you Google nipple, you're not going to get what you're looking for. Unity, UMA, nipple. And actually, there's a UMA community too. They use Slack, not Discord. I'm not sure why, but I am a member. If it can recognize me, it did. Let's go to support. I've actually got private message from September 2021 I hadn't seen. I don't frequent here, it's just I show up whenever I've got a problem. Let's see. I've got crazy nipples on my female models. Base female mesh race. And it seems only on NVIDIA cards for some reason. I'm on a Radeon and it doesn't do it for me. And we better give them a picture to look at. See if I can get a response for that. And we are now in beta. So let's keep looking at what Art's talking about here. Move on to, I'm going to try going to a distant cave. I think I was in tier 3 with the last cave there, but sometimes that stuff, I mean, you know, not if it's working properly, but sometimes that stuff is based on you know, it uses different math after you've crossed 8 kilometers. Navigation's working fine for me here, and I am out at 18 kilometers. This guy's kind of off the ground a bit there, isn't he? Alright, sir. Settle down. Why is he so dang fast? And what's he doing? He's excited to see me. Let's see, this should be his destination and direction. Some things. Tier 8 and Tier 16 dungeons, they were working fine last week. Are you going in the front entrance, or are you teleporting down into them from a... Man, what is this guy doing? None of his timers are triggering. He thinks he's returning to his spawn, but he can't get there because he got into this perfect loop where he can't churn hard enough to get towards it. That was funny. I don't know why he got set to return, and he did it again. Huh. This guy's not moving either. Well, you're right. What's going on here? Yeah, my guy's doing that too. He's trying to return home immediately. I did change. Oh. Hold on. Wait a second. I might know what's going on here. Just have to sneeze real quick. Excuse me. So, I added some of this is amphibious shenanigans because fish are underwater and everything else is not supposed to come underwater. Here it is. This is broken. If not, is amphibious, and we need to add world encounter manager is equal to null, and target position y equals less than that. Let's double check other uses of that if we're wandering. If we're not amphibious, if we're not amphibious and world encounter does not equal null. No, it does equal null. World encounter does equal null. Let's see, how about this? This was the change that I made so that bears and stuff don't go underwater. So if either our world encounter manager is not null, or the wander position is above ground there. These guys will not be amphibious, but their wander position will be below 108, because caves are all registered 100 meters below 0. That's the starting point for all non-above ground encounters, is minus 100. And then they go down from there. So these guys are always going to be sort of underwater, under sea level. But they also have their world encounter manager set to show that they are within a world encounter. So, yeah, crocs and hippos and some of those I marked as amphibious. So they can go in water. They can chase you down to the bottom of the sea, even though hopefully you'll get away from them before that happens. Or they'll give up. But bears and stuff, they just won't even go into the water anymore, is the theory. And this should fix what we were seeing with these guys anyway. So he's chasing me like normal. Still super fast though. Weirds me out how fast those guys are. It's like lightning. Anyway, let's try and import the changes we just made to production, which will fix those golems. Hopefully we won't have any merge conflicts. Do have some merge conflicts. Probably just the start scene. Monster AI. Yeah, I want to use mine. You're not even going to let me choose? What's going on? Oh, those are just what I changed, not what's new. Source tree being a butt. You good? You alright? Hey, Mystic Drew, what's happening? You want me to double check a croc and a hippo? I can do that. I haven't actually tested them going in and out of the water, so it's a good check. I would expect that they're working properly. The cave golems I did mess up. That was my fault. Let's mark that. Fixed for next patch. Thank you, Art. Stu. And let's see. Head to some swamps. Oh yeah, there are some that you can't harvest here. Okay, that's a problem. I'll look at that here in just a second though. Looks like fallen logs are not set up properly. Stones are working fine. Head out to the swamp, see if we can't find a hippo or a croc. Oh, there's a croc. Didn't even see him. So he should be able to follow me just fine, yeah. He's already... So yeah, I think their logic is working just fine. Let's see. Decorations. What do we got? Dead branch, dead trunk, bush, cacti, grass rock, mountain rock, stump. I think these are it. So I forgot harvestable basic resource. I guess I should have just looked at him. These guys, I think it was that guy. Let's load it back up, see what we got. Can crocodiles roll as champions? Yeah, I guess so. Just rare. Let's see. What is wrong with you here, sir? D stump 2. He's got harvestable basic resource on him. He's got a capsule collider on him. He is on the decorations layer. I can't harvest him. Does he need to be on the resources layer? Yes, he does. Okay. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All of those need to be resources. Let's write down what we've done so far before I forget about it. We've got fixed cave monsters not working properly. And we did that down here as well. We did this into here as well. And we've also just now fixed fallen logs, stumps not harvesting properly. What about the mountain stuff that we added? I can double check these two. These are all set to resources properly. Mountain stump. These are all the new guys for the mountains. They are set up to resources. Okay, so they should be fine. Just messed that up on some of those. Grass trunks. Anyway. Good. Yeah, they should run away. Fish should be in the beta world, but I think there is a problem with some of the biome selection. You can get into these large swaths of land that they're underwater, but their primary biome is still marked as whatever's nearby, like mountain. So you actually have to go find a like deep part of ocean, you know. You know how it does this, the circles that overlap, if you look at the map? You have to find a spot where the ocean overpowers, which I do have out here. It's actually not overpower. It's actually losing to like all of the other biomes. I'm like halfway. Might sneeze, but I'm probably not gonna. We need to change our air filter or something like that. Let's see. Just west of here, I've got water. But I have to go out into the water a ways before. Oh, there's a green bear. Well, the grass isn't working properly here either. That's suggestive of some other interesting aspects. Okay, it is working over here. I have seen parts where fish and stuff are not spawning because of the biome. I suppose the fish could be set to be in any biome, not necessarily ocean, as long as it's underwater. Still rains underwater. Need to fix that too. So you're in a mountain water biome and you don't have any fish? I wonder if what happens if I set these to be any? And then I've got their maximum heights all set to be below water, so they can't spawn above ground under any circumstances. I'll have to do that with the octopus, the pike, the salmon, and the shark as well. Put them to any. And I'm not sure that the, well, let's just load it up and see. I'm not sure that it's built to actually work with the any setting. If you go into free mode, it should let you. Free mode doesn't check for oh, nope, I broke it. So any doesn't work. I can fix that though, probably pretty easily. Building free mode doesn't check for obstructions. But just as a temporary response to that. Let's see. So we're gonna grab the biomes. The biome map. Which is set up to 5 in any case, but in that case, that means we're never going to grab stuff that's listed as any. So we would have to add another value, another data set to this array, so that we'd have any biome, but that would cause us to be trying to spawn octopi and things throughout the entire world. Procedural prefab, it would go through all of the stuff that's marked as any and go through all this math, and it would try to prepare it, which means it would try to find locations for it, and it would make up to 10 attempts at doing that. So it would slow down, it'd be like a 0.1 second extra, or less than that. And it would be off thread, but that's still not really what we would like. And are we doing that already in any case? We're going to go through, we're going to add all of the biomes. There's 5. I think we should improve this a little bit. We go through all of them, we get the top strength. Make sure that there's always one that's at least 0.4. But so like if I mark it as any, even in points where there's 0 ocean, so we've got mountain and grass overlapping, it's still going to be rolling to see if it can spawn octopi, which it's never going to be able to, and it's always going to be using predetermined math, so it's not using up a lot of performance, but we'd still like to avoid it if possible, and I'm trying to think if we can prevent going through all of the biomes and all of the prefabs in every biome every time. If we can determine that within this area there's no point at which the ocean reaches more than 0.1 strength or something like that, in which case we can just ignore the ocean biome completely. That would also give us a little more control, so we can say if there is any ocean, go ahead and roll it for everywhere in case we find any underwater. Do something like how about bool array present biomes equals new bool array, and we want this to be 5. So I won't do 6 for the any biome. We'll not use that. Yeah. Now, in going through here, the top biome, the top strength, we're going to go through all of them. Let's see. This is just per location. Might have to do... How about float? Biome maximums. And this is going through the area points. This is going through the possible biomes. So these should start at 0. If biome maximums at our current biome is less than the one that we're currently looking at, then we'll go ahead and set it to equal the one that we're looking at. This will give us an array of the maximum strength within this 128 meter area for all of the biomes. Now, as we go through the different biomes, let's just say if biome map B, this is going to give us a vector, nope, it's a float. Wait, what? Yeah, not biome map. Biome maximums at position B, which should be the same position. If it's less than 0. I'll just say 1 for now. Then we can go ahead and continue. And that'll just skip even checking to see if this stuff should spawn at all. The reason for that being, when we get into prepare spawn and we get into finding a location, we're going to be making a biome check here, and we're going to be testing against the main strength, which is always at least 0.41. So we make sure that there's always something that's at least 0.41 as our top strength, which means that things that are allowed to blend into this biome are going to have to be at least 0.4, let's see, what is it, 0.36. So there's no point in even bothering to look at stuff if the entire area doesn't have at least 0.36 strength in it, right? Because this is going to be looking for the maximum. So if we're in an area where the grass never goes above 0.36, there's no reason to be looking at stuff that's only looking to be spawned in whatever biome failed that check. That should speed things up a little bit, which is nice. But the real thing that I want to get going with that is the ocean biome. So what number is ocean? I've got that happening somewhere here. Get biome enum for B. Ocean is going to be 0. Okay. So if let's see. How about if B does not equal 0? So that'll allow ocean to spawn even if it's not at nominal strength. And likewise, when we get down to our find a location checks, which are looking for that blend bit, let's say if, what is this? This is an int. So if biome to check does not equal 0, biome to check does not equal 0, and so basically if it's not ocean, it's also not the main biome, and it's not a blending biome, then you go ahead and just skip. In other words, if it is ocean, we're going to let it pass the biome check, and it's just going to move straight on to the height check. And that should let ocean spawn even in those areas where it's not reaching proper blend strength, so long as it is underwater. If my logic is not mistaken. Improved spawn calculation checks. This is actually going to mess everything up, isn't it? Because this is deterministic noise based on the spawn check attempts. But it's beta. Oh, and I still have marked as any, which we don't want. Somebody's going to be upset, but it is a better, it's an improvement. We should go with it. Biome ocean. It uses that how many attempts were used up until now to change the noise that's being used to determine spawn locations. So if I change any of that, it falls out of sequence. Could cause things to spawn a bit different than they have up until now. Oh, and there's some coral on the shore I can see there. It is spawning better now, anyway. It wasn't spawning behind me here. It looks like it's spawning a bit too high, though. I think they're set to 798-ish. And some of these are pretty big, so they're just coming out of the water is all. I'll have to just turn them down a little bit. Which is fine. Let me get to a spot here and save. Coral sticking out. Yeah, that's not supposed to happen. It's kind of neat, but I don't think people would like that, to be honest. So these are 798. Let's tone that down to 796-ish. The rocks, I think they're fine. We could even turn those up. 798. Seaweeds are already low enough. One thing I do kind of want to do too is to add a random scalability to some of this stuff. We don't have things changing their size at all. So there's a big rock sticking out of the water, which is fine. Can't harvest these guys, but then the corals are down on water, as are the fish. Octopi and pike, and there's a shark back there. Yeah, I don't have anything that is randomizing the scale right now is all. And I'd actually like to add something to these guys themselves, so I can mark per object how much they're allowed to vary in their scale. Because some things I don't really want to change very much, like mushrooms maybe, or some stuff. But some of those, like the big rocks, they can get bigger and smaller. Yeah, that's a good point. Let's see. Let me just write down improved spawn calculation checks. Spawn biome calculation checks and ocean can now spawn anywhere. Ocean objects can now spawn anywhere underwater, regardless of biome. That could be a problem in swamp, couldn't it? But, if it's underwater, that's fine. Let me go look at the swamp real quick. I think with some of the rocks, I don't have their sizes set up yet, so they're set up properly. So they're spawning on top of stuff when they shouldn't. Let's see, swampy swamp. There's some big rocks. Those are ocean rocks, which is fine, but I don't... Oh, there's a crocodile. I would prefer... There's no reason for me to be swimming around actually looking at that. Let's just take a peek in the editor. And actually, I think I can just click on some of these terrains and let's look at their decorations. I'm not seeing any... Oh, we do have some coral. Coral rocks, though, yeah. I think the rocks are fine. Okay, I think we're good. The swamp's not supposed to get very deep, so as long as it doesn't get to the point where coral can spawn in it, I'm fine with that. Which it looks like it does. So we'll now have coral rocks spawning in the swamp, and that's not terrible, I don't think. They'll stay out of the swamp itself. I'm curious why I don't have grass here, but that's another story. Yeah, let's see how that stuff's doing. Let's see. New rocks, 40, 75, 50. Dead branches, dead trunk. Those are swamp stuff. Desert big rocks, we've measured those before. Desert bushes are fine. Cacti, mushroom. Yeah, these guys are all set to 1. That's not acceptable. So, let's see. How big are you, sir? The way I tend to test this is to just make a sphere right at the 0 point and scale him up until we get to an acceptable... He's a little bit off center there. Should I correct that? A little bit more like this. And then turn the sphere up a little bit more. Something about like that. Looks good. So he's at about, let's say 15. And I moved him just a little bit. So this is D grass rock 1. Let's close the animals up. You, sir, are 15. So nothing is allowed to spawn within 15 meters of this guy. That was improperly set to 1, so stuff would be able to spawn right inside of him there. Just some of these extra little steps I forget to take sometimes. You, sir, are not nearly as big, more like a 2. Grass rock 2, you're a 2. Grass rock 3, you look small as well. But more like a 3. Grass rock 4, looks like a 2 or a 3 again. Maybe just a 2 will be enough. And number 5. Number 9. The larch. You are a bit bigger. Let's say 6. Yeah, naming variables can be pretty important. That's something I try to teach people that are new to Unity. People like to go with those like B or F or G because it's easier to type, but you come back to it a week later and you're like, what is this? So these guys are pretty big. These are the mountain rocks. And this guy's gonna be something like 18-ish. I'd like to, let's move this down here for a moment. Lock. Prefabs, not the animals. Decorations, no. Procedural prefabs, decorations. We're looking at Mountain Rock number 1, Mossy Rock 1. He was a 16. Mossy Rock number 2 is funky. Unfortunately, it is better to get this all encompassed rather than leave open gaps around it, because stuff will spawn inside of it. Still, that's only 13. That's less than I thought. 13 for number 2. Number 3. Is a 10. Number 4. I could write something to figure this out for me, but it's not a big deal. That was a 10, wasn't it? Should have said it out loud. No, it's only like an 8. Say it out loud, I remember better. 8. ¿Qué te eviten?
で沖縄旅行行きたい
そりゃそうだよ。13 and a few more. Let's see, 8ish. What are we on? 6. Now 7 is going to be rock 1D. I did the D series, didn't I, for all of these? So this guy, I don't really even need to delete the sphere when I'm done with it. About 7. He's a little off center though. Let's move him a bit like this. And then 7 should be 6-ish, I guess. 6 will do. And again, we're on rock 1D, which is now number 7, right? So 7 is a 6. Too many numbers. 7 is a 6. 8 is going to be 2D. And I can just say nope. Oh, I did move him though, didn't I? Shoot. The one time I decided to skip that. Let's put him at 666. And we'll move all of the children a little bit like that. Delete the sphere. We're good. 2D is now number 8. It's a big boy. He's an 8-ish, I guess. We can go with 9. 8 is 9. $3D should be next. Just 2 more, I think. Number 9. Let's see, we put 8 in there, right? Yeah, good. Just measuring these guys' radii so that stuff doesn't spawn inside of them. I might want to reposition this guy a little too. He's kind of one-sided. Move him a little more like that. And scale a little bit more. 11.5. Do we need to go that far? Sure. Delete, save. Can do decimals with these. And last but not least, 4D. I need to finish my coffee, I think. 12.5 should be good. And there we go. Now the rest of these should be fine. Mountain stumps. Have to unlock these for it to auto select them for us. Discard changes. This guy's plenty at 1. Yeah, stuff could definitely spawn inside of this if we leave it at 1. Not a big deal for this guy particularly. That guy's fine too. This guy might be, let's see, log number 2. I think you need to be a 2. Log number 3, likewise, probably needs to be a 2. Each step here is a meter. So, log 3, I'm going to make you a 2 as well. Yeah, probably these guys too. 1 and 2. Make you guys all... And you're actually pretty off-center there. Let's see. More like that, how about? And... yeah, I think all of you guys are going to be 2s. And I kind of don't mind ocean stuff overlapping yet. Oh, I've got a bunch more of these actually. Stump 2. Because that stuff is not yet harvestable. Stump 1, no, you're fine. These guys I wanted to churn up. Stump 1, stump 2. Where'd you go? Yeah, these should be all fine at 1 meter, I'm pretty sure. I'm not using snowy. That's kind of big, but still fine at 1. Okay, that should be all good. Move this back up here. Leave him locked. Alright, let's move on. And I think we need to... Let's see, we fixed that. Fixed for next patch. Thank you. Whoever that was. Oh, I need to sign in again. Sure. It's only been half an hour. Can't harvest standing dead trees. Did I miss something up there too? Guess I did. Look at her nipple sticking out all funky there. That is weird. I need to bring that up to the community that is not intended. That is really weird. I can't believe it's been like that this whole time and I've only had like 1 complaint. I guess some people are fine with giant nipples. It's such a bummer when that stuff doesn't show up on the developer's end. Let's see. That's different. This one I resolved. Fixed for next patch. Thank you. Let's see. Standing dead trees. What's wrong with you? Coffee doesn't keep you up at night? Certainly keeps me up. I can't have caffeine. I actually bought some decaffeinated milk tea stuff yesterday. Because I do like a drink at night, but can't drink tea or anything. That would be an interesting test. I wouldn't expect... Like I say, it doesn't make any sense to me why different video cards would have different results for that. Just how it's calculating the bone weights, I guess. I don't think there's a way to look at that in Unity. I'd have to open it up in Blender. I could do that. I'm terrible at Blender, of course, but we could peek at that. Kiss that down. Let's see, those are trees. I think it's one of these guys. 不可能. Sent something to the wrong address. Is this the one she's looking at here? Branchy branch. No, it's not this guy. She's looking at a stump. Hi, kitty. What are you doing? I don't remember what particular prefab that is. I don't think it's a tree though. I think it is a decoration, not a dead branch. Those are swamp, bush, cacti, mushroom, rock, mountain fern. She is in the grasslands. It's one of the beach. Stump. Must be one of these stumps. D-stump. That's it there, isn't it? Yeah. So this guy, she is unable to harvest because why? Resources, got a collider. It's on the proper layer. Or was it not? Did I mess that one up and just... it's the same thing, isn't it? Is it? No? Yeah, it's the same as this guy. That's the same problem. Okay, so he's fixed. Fixed for next patch. Thank you. In Culbertson. And what else do we got? SP Beta. The map preview has gone again. F12 for screenshots not working. That would be a Steam command. Not necessarily me. Following today's release, finding episodes of my setup vary from 17 to 51, causing freeze in game. Not there before. Also finding that despite killing boss mobs, cannot pick up crate. Getting a locked message. What does this mean? Accelerating swim windows applies in both grass and badlands, but not tested elsewhere. Maybe a cache problem, but not seen it before. People not liking the graphics, huh? Performance. Stuff is all set to GPU instancing. Don't need a mission. Secondary maps means it's going to be making another draw call. This one's actually weird. How come this one doesn't show up? Mesh render has been turned off. This render is statically batched. This guy does not have a LOD group. That's not good. There might be a few more of these that don't have LOD groups. And as Stu is suggesting, we could add a slider for this ground clutter. I could just set up a hard maximum render distance. I could set up a soft one as well. This will definitely help, and there's probably more of these. Yeah, that's a bummer when these don't have their LOD groups on them. I don't like having to delete this every time, so let's move this down to something like this, and we'll copy it as is. You don't want these rendering off in the distance. At extreme distances, which is what this will do. Like so. Stump 3, stump 4. Paste component is new. And it would be nice at some point to create a area-based. I could get into that this week. It might be a valid thing to look into. Get sort of an area-based. Be difficult though. LOD system, which is pretty common for higher-end games. Basically, what I'm doing here is adding a per object LOD group like this. So if this object gets to the point where it's less than 3% of the screen, so it gets real tiny like that, we just don't even draw it anymore. And you can set this however you like, so it could be 20%, right? So until you get this close, it just doesn't even render. See back here, it just churns it off. And that cuts down on performance a lot. If you don't have this LOD group set up at all, I usually put them at about 3%, which is like this, so, and that's even, it's a little drastic. It could be more like 6% or something. And if you don't have that at all, no matter how far away you get from it, it'll still be rendering it, so long as it's in the game. And that's very much not wanted. This definitely was going to be causing some minor performance dips, so this will improve that a bit. But can also set up a sort of a more area-based system, because when you do it per object like this, every object has to calculate this every so often and to see if it should be turned on or if it should be turned off. And that uses up a tiny little bit of processing power. So when you've got 5,000 objects doing it, it's tiny little bit of processing power times 5,000. So actually a few of these different things don't have LOD groups yet. That's not very good. And like I say, it's a bit, let's move all of these up to like 10. It's just a little bit of processing power, but when you, sort of a different way to do this would be, rather than per object, do it per like 10 meter chunk, or maybe even like 20 meter chunk or something. So when you get more than, say, 50 meters away from that chunk, you're only making a single calculation for all of the stuff that's in there. That wouldn't be terribly difficult to set up. Adding these things in runtime to A single group would be a little difficult. It'd take a day or two for sure. But let's see. We do definitely want to get at least these guys set up, because this will improve performance a little bit. Don't want stuff drawn when you can't even see it. Big rocks probably don't have it because they're so big, but they probably still should. Tell me it's not doing boobs on the leather armor. Oh, you're live? Let me look at it. Well, it's kind of not the same though, is it? Just really pointy. Is that the metal armor? Did you have some leather armor too? Huh. Well, it's not doing the same thing, really. I think that's probably how it would look for me, too. I don't have a giant breasted character, I don't think. Let me make one and see. At least it's not doing that point. Not that there's anything wrong with nipples, it's just that's not at all intended. I think it's only breast size that matters, right? I like to randomize the colors at least. No response from support yet. Let's see. Let's see. Well, yeah, I don't have those points going though that you have. If I can get out of combat. Why am I still in combat? Do you get... Oh, there we go. I mean, I'm big-breasted, but yeah, I don't have the same... You had real sharp edges on your boobs there still, too. So there is something going on with the weights or something. Would you mind sending me a screenshot of either of those, Stu? Let's see, I should, let's see, I'm going to put these on the ground. And, oh, dropping didn't fix my armor. It's interesting. Save. Actually, I wanted to go back to menu. I'm gonna make my girl super tall so that the camera's better positioned on her. Is she already max height? I thought there was, I can do lower body, I can do legs, right? Leg length, there we go. Huh. Thanks for pointing out what you're upset about there, Unity. That's really useful. Not. I left and I came back, and now I've got funky errors going on. Alright. Let's see. And now they slowed down. Scriptable runtime reflection system wrapper. I'm assuming that is my reflection probes, but who knows. And my eyes are blue still. Anyway, boobs are big, but they look more or less normal. I'm going to take a screenshot of that so we can compare it to Stu's. And I turned around. Would like to fix those eyes today too. And this UMA community is very much aware of these armor sets. So the guy that actually developed these is in that channel, so he should be familiar with this. Hopefully able to give me some kind of a input on how to go about fixing this. But anyway, I'll compare that to Stu's screenshots, because that is weird stuff. I don't know why the mesh seems different on different video cards. I did have a reply from him. Let's see now. So if you look really close, my player's eyes are blue, and it's not just the eyes, it's the whites of her eyes are blue. This is caused by we've got the shared eye color here, and then we've got her eyes using shared color, but it goes over the whole thing is the problem. I got into this once in the past. There we go, that's the one we want there. This one should be skin, huh? Okay, that works better. I don't know what's going on with the lips there, though. Did that fix? Why? How did I break her lips? Give her a huge overbite. Anyway, nobody pay attention to that. Where do I actually apply that? Avatar, UI, color. Let's see here. Coloring skin, hair, eyes. Set color eyes. No, I think it's the race. Where is this stuff? Female race. DNA. Hi, kitty. What are you doing? Not the ranges. And it's actually not her DNA, it's the slots. And the eye slot. Not quite sure where I think for the screenshots art. There's the eyes, and then there's the iris has another overlay for it that cloth looks totally normal. It's kind of funny, actually. Yeah, way pointier than my screenshots, though. I hit copy. Copy link. Sorry, copy image. I don't know. No, you don't want to paste? What's going on? Copy image. Hello. Paste. There it goes. Let's do... I'll just copy paste that once more. And... there it goes. Let's just do a little text like, let's say, Radeon. And NVIDIA. Oops. It's weird stuff. Thank you again for the screenshots, Art. We'll get to the bottom of that, if not today, in the near future, I think. So, let's see. Slots. Might be actually overlays that I'm looking for here. No. I don't mess with this stuff very often, so I kind of get lost when I come back to it. I can set that through code. I think that there is a somewhere in here though that I can change the default stuff. Wardrobe slots, T-pose, expression, base recipe. Here we go, I think. So eyes, eye overlay wants to be using skin, where the iris itself wants to be using the eye color. Is it this one? I'll change both of these just in case. Let's see if that has improved things at all. If not, I can just code it in. Kitty. So there's like the eyeball, and then there's the iris. Those are two different things. And unfortunately, we've got it set up so that I can just actually click on her and see. Let's see, avatar, data slots. So she is now set to skin. So that should be good now. So I can test it with a little bit of color. I want to change her eye color to green. And somebody asked if we could get a way to zoom in on the head better. And this icon broke, so let's fix that too. But I do believe that her eyes are changing color. I think. No? We should have a shared color eyes here that we've now set to red. And this should be using skin, and this should be using eyes. Does this need to be no, lower should be overriding it. Kind of confused why there's 3 of them here. Should only be 2, I think. We've got the eye overlay, default eye adjust. I'm not sure what that's doing. And why is this one not colored red? We still doing the skin? Yeah, she's still going by skin color for some reason there, see? Even though we have changed this. You're supposed to be eyes. That's skin and that's eyes. But it's not doing that. How come it changed that? It's changing this stuff on and off as I mess with it. And then it's not going back. This one is properly set to skin though. That is what we would expect, more or less. Don't really want the eyeballs actually changing colors at all, I don't think. We should probably just leave that at white, right? And again, don't use shared color. Even if the skin is set to blue. Is it just that this inspector is not updating properly? What's going on here? Yeah, this is just being a little bit weird. Let's look into the code a little bit. Sorry, kid, you need to use the keyboard now. Yeah, I know. You hate it. Why don't you go this way? The only way that you can go. There you go. Go sit by the window. Let's see. Pretty sure I'm not actually manually applying that stuff anywhere. But let's go back to the one that we were messing with here. And what is actually the race that we're using is not DCS, it's just human female, I'm pretty sure. Player. Human male and human female. So, human female, we don't need to mess with DCS. And we want to set our eyes to not use a shared color at all. Eyes can just go ahead, well, the eyeball itself again, you know. Yeah, that'd be interesting if everybody's on NVIDIA. Thank you, Art. And come to think of it, we want this for male as well. Well, we'll just get female. Well, I might as well. Recipes, base recipes, human male base recipe. Don't use the shared color. Human male DCS, don't use the shared color. And some of these slots, face slot, that doesn't actually marked. Slot DNA. It's a tiny thing, but I know this has bothered some people for a long time. it would be nice. That camera's annoying too. How you gotta wait for it to finish. How could we get? I could link a camera to the bone so you could go straight to the face. Let's see if things have improved at all. Okay, so the eyeballs are not changing with skin color anymore, which is good. The eyes, however, are not updating properly, even though they looked like they were properly marked. Should be using shared color eyes. And I'm pretty sure lower means above. And our shared eye color has properly been set to blue. So how come you are not going blue? Let's try moving you up one. No, you should be down underneath. Now you got set to skin. That won't be useful. But will it take effect? No, it won't take effect. Eyelashes, that sounds entirely unnecessary. Let's go ahead and just delete you for the moment. But not effective. Properly opaque. Additive is not working. Texture 1 multiplier is at 1. Additive is at 0. What if I up this all the way up? Doesn't seem to do anything either. Multipliers at 100%. Let's turn additive all the way up 2. See what that does. Doesn't seem to do anything. I might have to trigger a redraw though for this stuff to be imported properly, but I don't think so. Let me see if I change the skin color in here. That does update in real time. The eye color, however, does not seem to be changing. Turned off use shared color, but it wasn't doing anything anyway. Well, I've fixed the eyeballs going weird colors in any case. So that's 1 out of 2. Just need to fix these eye colors not working. Let me post this into the UMA support channel as well. Let's turn it up to red. Just to make it a little more obvious. And I will copy that whole thing over. Yeah, the eyes are not changing at all now, and it should be just this iris overlay on top. I wish Unity would let me get a little bit closer. It likes to freak out when you get too close. Would actually be kind of nice to go as far as to bleed into the eyes a little bit, but it's a little scary. There's the eye overlay. I'm not too clear why there's this eye adjust, to be honest. See, you did see the color change a little there. I don't think I actually need that, but there's this base eyeball texture, and then on top of that is supposed to go, for example, it's gonna let me do that? No. You can put cat and alligator eyes and stuff in there. Doesn't want me to do that just right now, but I could do it over here, I believe. Let's see. Texture list. Eye large adjust is default. I will put, where is it? There we go. I'm going to put the alligator eye in there just to make it more obvious. And we should be able to see. Let's see if we get rid of this. Eye large adjust, add overlay. See there, you can see that the adjust is working there. Well, the alligator eye is working. That's what we're trying to do here, is change the eye colors. And it went back to the default there, even though it doesn't show it here. Being a little weird. How come I can't see this anymore? Is that one overpowering it? It seemed to work immediately when I moved it over that one time. That one doesn't work. Or does it? It seems to redraw it though when I make a change. See, it went back to normal there. Even though it's still down here. Only seems to work when I add it on there. You know, and I haven't updated this in a long time. They've actually got like 9 months of fixes and patches and stuff in here that I'm just worried that I have to re-import my wardrobe library, global library, because there's a lot of stuff in here. We could try that. I could push version control, update, see if that improves anything. Just eye color's not working right now is all. It's not a huge problem. Let's move on for the moment. I'm going to go ahead and just paste this into their support channel. during runtime, but then it swaps back to the default overlay when I make changes to the colors. Hopefully someone will show up to comment on that. But let's move on to something else. Wow, are you serious? It's already noon? I did not expect that. So yeah, we were kind of in the middle of let's see, I would like to get a face camera, wouldn't I? Let me write that down, face cam. But we were coming across a variety of prefabs that were not properly marked with LODs. So they're fine. This was a good pack. Let's see though. Prefabs. Some of these are look like they're not set up how we would like them to be. We already fixed quite a few of them. Some swamp stuff. The big rocks I'm going to leave alone. Let's take a look at the dead branches. Yeah, these guys do not have LOD groups on them either. Paste component is new. Like this. Should be good. I could actually add another group and put the leaves even further back. You can't see the leaves here. Maybe we say the leaves show up at 30-ish. Maybe even less than that, 40-ish. And then we can add another group that only has the branches. That's just the collider. So what this will do is the leaves will turn off at 40%. That saves on even a little extra performance. Copy that and do the same for these other branches. What's the matter here? Unity's kind of being a butt today. Transparent legacy shaders, reflective bumped specular. Why would you use that? How about you just go back to standard, sir? Just get it a little bit wet looking there. Just a bit. Smoothness. I think I'll turn you down a bit. Dead branches. That should speed that up. Enable GPU instancing. Yes, please. That'll help with those a little bit too. What are you doing? I don't like it giving me all these silly errors. Standard specular, transparent cutout, bumped specular. That's kind of just unnecessary too. Let's see. I could give these the Nature Manufacturer leaf shader, which is probably what we want, right? Yeah, let's go with that. This guy doesn't have, well, we'll leave you alone for now. Transparent cutout bumped specular. I'm just not sure if that's Unity or not. Sometimes these assets come with custom shaders that are actually not very optimized. I think this is normal though. It's not under a funky folder. I definitely want GPU instancing enabled though, so that will help with that too. Little performance thing. Oh, this guy's giving me some kind of error though. Speed tree material fixer. This is not a speed tree, and I am not using any sort of speed tree mechanics. What's going on here? Who are you upset with? Are you upset with the LOD group? Why is that? LOD group editor on inspector, speed tree material fixer, do fixer UI. I'm not setting this to do speed tree fade mode. Unity's just being kind of weird today. That happens. I don't know why it thinks that it needs to do that, because it certainly doesn't. It's really just upset that there's no thing in these, I believe, is what's going on, but still, it shouldn't be calling that at all in the first place. So this guy is set up properly. 1, 2. This guy's set up properly, but I got that wrong. Leaves should be in LOD 0. Number 3. Paste component as new. Branches and leaves in 0. Branches only in 1. Number 4. Paste component is new. Leaves and branches in 0. Only the branches in 1. Some of this stuff I just have kind of assumed is all right, and I'm finding now that it's actually not. This guy only needs 1. Let's move him down to 10. What? Why are you being so fussy here, sir? 10. And what shader are you using? Legacy shader reflective bumped specular. No thank you. Standard specular. Turn the specular way down. And turn your GPU instancing on. Good. Likewise. Would be interesting. Why would NVIDIA and NVIDIA and Radeon use bone weights differently? That doesn't make any sense. Let's see if we can't actually take a peek at that. It's going to be UMA content core female FBX. No? I might have to do import, not open, huh? This is Blender file view. File import FBX. Let's see if we can actually look at those bone weights. This is honestly, I'm just going to say right now, a huge mistake because I am just terrible at Blender. But let's take a peek nonetheless. See if we can't. ASCII files are not supported. Yeah. I think I have a special plugin for that. ASCII support. Maybe it's not installed since I last installed Windows though. Core. No, was it content? Core. Human female. That's the only one, huh? FBX. Yeah. I might try and take a peek at that. I think I'll wait for the see if I can get some response in the Slack support group here. I can move around and look in it, you know, and kind of I can do a thing or two, but I'm pretty terrible. There's no doubt about that. So we fixed the swamp trunk shader. He should be faster, and we want to put that in there, and it's actually I want him a little further. He's pretty big. Copy, and then I'll drag it in there. That's B. We did A. It's funny, B is so different. But anyway. And C. Paste component is new. Stick them in there. And put them about like that. And likewise, he's using the new thing there. Good. Let's take a look at some of this other stuff, though, because standard rocks. I think this guy's fine. Cave boulder. Yeah, he should have an LOD group, too, though. Mesh. There's no reason to be drawing these guys to infinity and beyond. Default works for these, huh? I guess just decoration doesn't work. They should be on the harvestable or the resources layer. Let's go ahead and back out. Oh, there's only one of them. Cave small rock. Yeah, none of these guys are marked as resources. I guess default works too, but they do all have their basic resource. Let's add LOD component to each of them, and drag the mesh in there. And I'm gonna take a look at the shader these guys are using too. I actually set up a little shader test over the weekend with some of the coral. And just to make sure that it was working fine. And it was actually quite a bit slower than the standard shader, so I switched them all to the standard shader. This is going to be pretty different if I change it. I can tell right away. Cave, small rocks, mask, normal, rock 2, detail, small rocks, base color. Yeah, I'm going to leave that as is. Main text, detail, albedo. You know, if I turn this off, it's going to change that quite a bit. So we'll leave that as is. Make sure GPU instancing is on though. I'm getting a small shader error though. Custom editor, but that's just a GUI Unity problem. It's not an actual shader problem, so I think I can ignore that. Did I get all of these set up right? I did, okay. Grass rocks, you've got proper LODs set up, you're fine. Let's take a look at you're using nature manufacture stuff, that's all good and fine. Floating island rocks, these aren't a big, much of a problem, to be honest. But let's go ahead and add them anyway. Because you're in such a small area there, you're never going to be losing too much performance over these guys. Floating island, rock number 3. No change after the NVIDIA update. Yeah. I don't think it's like an error per se, you know what I mean? It's just they handle stuff differently for some reason. Did the branches, did the trunks. Let's see if we're missing anything else. Big rocks, dead branches, dead trunk, desert big rock. The bushes, the cacti are all good. Giant mushroom. I don't know about these guys. Let's take a peek. These guys do not have LODs. They should. Let's give it to them. Why did that not take it? This is using standard specular. That's good. GPU instancing is on. Awesome. There's already something in there. No, that was right. I guess I just didn't see it trigger. 10%. Yeah, that's pretty good. We could go a little smaller than that. These are the big... What am I even looking at? Swamp trunk. Swamp dead trunk. I thought I was looking at swamp giant mushroom. He does have an LOD group. Okay. Swamp dead trunk. How did I get to swamp dead trunk? Giant mushroom. Swamp giant mushroom. I guess I just clicked on the wrong thing somewhere. So this guy does have his LOD set up. He's using the Legacy Shader Self-Illume Bumped Specular. Don't want that. He's probably got an emissions map. No. What is this? A big white texture. That's super useful. Oh, there it is. Using alpha for emission. I can change that. Let's see. Move you to standard. I'll go 1G. All right, we're gonna push through to 1. Wife's got lunch at 1. So you see what that does to here. Let's see. PNG, huh? Can I drag that into? Oh, I can. Very nice. So, let's see. What are you marked as? Default 2D input texture alpha. Alpha is transparency. This is true. Doesn't change that though, huh? Should be using this for its coloring. I'm gonna just peek at an emission map from someone else here. Rune pillar default emission. Yeah, that's got the actual colors. Black is no emission. So we want to change this to actually be more like, let's see, we want a new layer. You can't see me messing with the layers on the right, sorry about that. I'm going to Control A, select all, and do a Shift F5 to put black in there. And I want to change this stuff to be colorized, because it's, how about I just merge that? I don't think, yeah, I need to colorize this, because it's, there we go. Turn the saturation up, and let's change it to be that swampy blue. And let's go ahead and save this as number 2. Import that into Unity and replace this guy like that. Now the blue stuff should be glowing even in the dark, like that. While the rest of the mushroom will get dark. Let's turn the smoothness down a bit though. Maybe turn the metallic up a little bit. That should be looking better and running faster, which is what we're trying to do right here. So that's always good. What about the other mushrooms? Swamp shroom, giant mushroom we're still looking at. Number 2, you don't have an LOD either. So let's give you one of those. And you've got 3 mesh colliders, none of which are marked as convex, even though they certainly all can be. Maybe not that guy, but that's fine. Not sure why those are all 3 mesh colliders, but not bad, not bad, not terrible. We'll stick with it. You're not going to be able to step right there, not a big deal. Let's go back to this guy. What's he doing? He's got a bunch too. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go ahead and, well, I might, that's a little silly. Would like to fix these up someday, to be honest. Convex, convex, convex. A little ugly, but you don't really need to be jumping on these anyway. Have a good one, Art. Thanks for letting me look at that stuff in real time. It's always a big help. I don't have any NVIDIA cards. I don't think. Pretty sure. It'd be interesting to swap and see. I know you can do those streaming services now. You know, where you enable GPU instancing, where you rent a computer online to render the game for you, and then you just download the generated graphics. So the only thing that matters is your internet connection. You don't even need a video card. You're just downloading something else's work. And I bet you can choose what kind of video card you want to be using. If I could test the game in both NVIDIA and Radeon video cards with that for cheap, that would be pretty interesting. That would be a really neat test. Let me see. What's that called? Video game streaming. What is it called? I guess streaming is not really what I meant to say, is it? That's Xbox Game Pass. I've seen, what do you call that? Video game. Is that what it's called? Video game streaming service? I don't think that's what I should be looking for. GeForce Now, that's what I was thinking of. NVIDIA GeForce Now. How much does this cost? And is it like per minute? Because if I can pay for 10 minutes, that would kind of be worth it. Oh, you only have to have over 80 of the biggest free-to-play games are on GeForce Now. So that's not how that works, unfortunately. What do you call this, though? Is it streaming? Cloud gaming? Yeah, it's probably going to be hard to find stuff that'll let me play Solace Crafting anyway, huh? Would be a neat test, though. I'm actually going to ping some buddies of mine. I got my gaming crew here and there. I totally forgot I was streaming. I'm talking with my buds here, trying to get. I don't mind showing this, honestly. Trying to see if I can just get some more people, more samples, because I've only got me and Stu that I've actually seen with my own eyes, kind of thing, you know. So I don't know for sure that it's a video card difference. That's kind of the most obvious possible answer, is that I'm running Radeon and Stu's running NVIDIA. And I know most of my buddies are NVIDIA too, so get them to take a picture of it in game for me and see how it looks, just to kind of, you know, get some further data, bigger sample, make sure I'm not assuming too hard on the wrong thing. Anyway, in the meantime, kind of still just peeking at some of these shaders. This is all nature manufacture stuff, right? So that's good. Floating island rocks, we looked at that. Yeah, another buddy of mine on NVIDIA's got crazy nipples for some reason. Like I say, I don't know why it does that. It's so weird. It's just endlessly hilarious. And that it's been like that for months, no doubt. I'm really surprised that I've only had like 2 complaints about that, because that is weird. We'll get to the bottom of it someday, though, you know, now that I'm on top of it. Like, say, somebody sent me a picture of that a long time ago, and I was like, that's photoshopped. Nah, there's no nipples in Solace Crafting, but I guess there are. So what are you going to do? I'm working on it now. We'll have an answer to it here one of these days. Worry you not. Okay, I got these guys set up. Dead trunks, I got you guys set up too. What else we got? Yeah, we want to go by these, actually. I believe these are all good, right? Yeah. This is mountain forest, yeah. So that's all nature manufacture stuff. That's all cool. Properly set up. De-stump. These are the swamp dead branches, right? Yeah, so we just set those up too. Swamp shrooms, we set those up. These are the smaller shrooms, but we did set them up as well. Let's take a peek at their shader. Yeah, these guys are using that silly legacy shader too. We don't want that. Reflective bumped specular. Let's just switch you to default. Standard specular. And we'll turn the specular way down. And we'll turn the smoothness down a little bit too. Should be good. Enable GPU instancing. There we go. That is a good one. What else? Yeah, I want to do the rest of these too. Well, no, that should affect all of these now. I assume they're all sharing the same shader. Good. We did the ocean stuff. I did that myself. So that should be good. People were complaining kind of about the town, was it? Following today's reason varies, freeze, killing boss ones, lock message. That's totally different problem. We'll look into that though. Both the grass and the badlands. So grass rocks are the new guys. They've got LODs set up on them, and they're using Nature Manufacturer shaders. They've got their meshes set to convex. The shader is set to enable GPU instancing. On top of that, we've got a bunch of stumps in there now. These are in the swamp. Just want to kind of triple check all of this stuff, make sure I'm not missing any sort of obvious things that we can do to improve performance. This is all the same stuff. No, I didn't actually open it. Double click. Let's see. This guy's using standard. I don't think they were. Now they are. And I've given them LODs, so they should be running better. Do we really need this secondary map is another question. You're at, let's see if I change you to 0.1 and 0.1. You know, is it really that big of a difference to have that with a whole nother draw call? I think I deleted the little test I set up, unfortunately. Noise test. It would be quick. Let's go ahead and do that though. I definitely want to squeeze some more performance out of some of this stuff, because it's never good when people are upset with the performance. So I'm just going to make a little script. Well, I might actually still have it in my scripts folder. Let's double check. Shader test, I believe I called it. I don't see it there anymore. I think I deleted it as soon as I was done with it. Shader test. So basically I'm just going to spawn a bunch of objects with different shaders, and I'm going to test the differences in the frame rate between when one group is on and one group is off. So basically I'm going to do a list of game objects called, set 1, and we're going to do a set 2 as well, and we're going to do a serialize object go 1, and this is where we're going to feed in objects 1 and 2, and then in the start we're going to do a for loop. Int I equals 0, I equals less than, let's say, just 1,000, I plus plus, and we're going to instantiate game object 1 to make a new game object called go, and we're going to do go.transform.position equals new vector 3 of, let's say, I times 0.1f, 0 and 0. And in this case, we're also going to do set1.add go. And then we're going to do a second loop, almost the exact same, just that we're going to instantiate number 2. and we're going to add it to set 2. Now in update, we're going to do if input dot get key down key code alpha 1. We're going to go and do our for loops, and we'll do it a little different actually. So we'll do for int I equals 0, I equals less than set1 dot count I plus plus, and we're going to set 1 at position I dot set active to true, and we're going to then go through set 2 and set them to false. So we're going to turn off everything in set number 1 and churn, you know what I mean. If we press 2, we're going to do the reverse. Turn on set 2 and turn off set 1. So by default, let's have set 1 turned on. So we will do go.setActive false on all of these guys. And now what I'm going to do is take those trunks that I'm curious about. I'm going to make a second shader. Let's do a new scene. And let's see, where are those guys at? I want to add shader test to my camera. I want to bring in stump number 1, was it? Number 2? Doesn't matter. 1, 2, we'll bring 2 in. And I'm going to duplicate him. We'll call him 2, 2. And I'm going to go and duplicate this guy's shader. Or rather his material. And let's see. On this guy, I'm going to get rid of the secondary maps. Specular highlights, we don't need that. We don't need that. We do want that. Don't need to save the scene. That's not what I meant. So, where'd this guy go? Stump number 2. We now want him to be using this one. Now, the script we built, we're going to have number 1 and number 2. And I'm actually going to want to position this guy facing the X so that we make sure everything is inside of the camera and actually rendering. So I'm going to go game object align with view. That'll move the camera to match my view. I don't need to save the scene. And that should... Arigatou gozaimasu. Null reference. What did we miss here? I messed something up. Global methods 541. Oh, I've still got harvestable objects on them. We just remove them for this scene. Doesn't look like they're positioning properly. Go transform position equals new vector 3 x, y, z I times 0.1f. What am I missing here? Can just turn those ones off. There. 1 and 2, 1 and 2. So now this is not really a good way to do this, but I'm going to be looking at the render thread is at about 0.7. And yeah, that's pretty much no change. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just not worry about that, actually. The difference in quality is really minimal. So if there was a performance gain across 1,000 objects, I would be fine with just turning those secondary maps off. But it doesn't look like there is, so I'm not going to worry about it. Let's see, let's go back to the start, and I don't need to save this scene. That will leave all that as it was. So, people still upset a bit about the performance though. Let's see, what else can we do? We double checked, we added some LOD groups to a lot of stuff that didn't have it. We upgraded some legacy shaders to modern ones that will now be instancing on the GPU. Badlands and grass was kind of the big ones. And the rocks had stuff spawning inside of them too, which is no good. Swamp shroom and some stuff we upgraded. Still haven't touched the big rocks for the desert. Let's take a peek at some of the desert bush stuff. I believe most of this is set up quite well, but let's take a peek at... I think I already changed some of these. Yeah, I changed most of these to be nature manufacturer because it's faster than what they were using. And they get a little bit of jitter. We could actually try our little test with these as well. Let's go ahead and say this is version 1, number 2, and let's go to his shader. Bushes, I'm going to go to bushes 2, and I'm going to change him to be transparent, was it cutout, bumped specular? Is that right? Transparent, I think that was right. Yeah. Transparent cutout, double-sided diffuse, how about? Bushes 2, so he's definitely losing some quality there. Lost his normal map. This guy is set up to GPU instancing, so is this guy, so he's gonna look worse, that's for sure. Let's see though. Bush version 1.2.0 through 2, we're gonna move to bushes number 2. And then we're going to do a new scene like before. Add our shader test. We're going to drag number 1 and number 2 in. We're going to set them up to here and here. I'm going to move the camera again so that he is facing the right direction. I'm going to turn these two off. Click play, and we should have a 1 and a 2. We've got an error. Yeah, okay, I still got harvestable whatchamut stuff on them. I can just turn those off temporarily. And likewise, these don't really have difference, and to be expected, the nature manufacturer shaders are very high quality. I fully expected that, but just kind of wanted to give it a quick test. Nature manufacturer guys are really cool though. Oh, and this actually is not, that's right, no, yeah, I moved all of this stuff to be using the nature manufacturer shaders because I knew they would be faster. So the new Badlands stuff should be pretty solid. And I did that for all of the cacti and bushes and whatnot. So they should be pretty solid. I gave them basic colliders. They already had nicely set up LODs. Now, kind of the last thing that we can do here is provide options for people to churn their settings down. You know, we don't actually have like texture quality settings set up just yet. For example, and we could set up a slider so that people can churn their render distances down, which we do have set up for trees. We don't have it set up for normal objects though, non-tree objects I should say. Basically non-tree flora. Now there's two ways that I could do that. We could mess with the LODs that everything's got on it, but that's a little rough to be honest. It's not bad. You know, if I've got most stuff set to somewhere between 3 and 10% of screen space. If it goes below that, it turns it off. Another way to go about this is there's actually something called Culling. What is it called actually? I don't remember. I've never used it. I know how it works though. On the camera there are culling masks. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I don't think you can set them up in the inspector here. You actually have to feed them into the code itself. But for example, camera cam dot, what are they called? Culling something. Layer cull distances. I believe this is basically it. Pre-layer culling distances, but you have to set up, let's see, layer cull distance, layer cull spherical bool, how to perform per layer culling for a camera. This is just a bool. So I assume this is going to be an array the size of all of the layers, which I believe goes up to 32, which including the 0 would be 31. It's basically a 32-bit byte, byte, something like that. Most people know what I'm talking about. 0 to 31, so 32 full values, and then the float array that accompanies that is the culling distances, equals cam dot layer culling distances. And why are you yelling at me? Cannot implicitly convert bool. Layer cull sphering. I was expecting that to be an array. So maybe if it's 0, it ignores it. Anyway, what this does is anything that is on the layer that you specify, for example, resources, if it crosses a certain distance from the camera and you tell it not to render anything beyond that, it just won't render them. So that's really easy slider. That's the most basic setting that you can set up, and just say anything that's more than 100 meters away, don't render it. You know, and it'll very clearly just sphere outward from the camera as you drag that slider. The problem with that is some stuff is really tiny, some stuff is really big. So one way that some games will do that is to make a small detail layer, a medium detail layer, and a large detail layer, etc. Problem with that is layers are used for physics, and physics get used for a lot of stuff like ray casting. So that's what I use to test if I'm hitting a facility, if I'm hitting a building, if I'm hitting a resource, if I'm hitting a tree. So I can't really just go and group stuff based on its size into one of these layers, because you can only be on one layer. You can't be on multiple layers. That would actually be really useful if you could be on multiple layers. But you cannot. That'd be really useful though. But anyway, yeah, that would cause a lot of problems. But honestly, if we're talking about resources, that's going to include all the ground clutter that you can get off, or that you can clear. どうしたん？大丈夫？それはいい？よかったね。よかったね。今その話じゃないからね。Let's set up a test on the player and just do something simple that I can control manually for now. Let's say let's go to player environment. Let's do we've already got the camera. I don't think I need to make any global variables here, or script wide. Let's just let's do a public float, and then resource distance equals, let's say 150 for starters. And how do you do the let's see, range equals something like this, I think. I forget how I don't use this stuff. Unity range property. Range attribute, that's what I meant. Parentheses 1 to 6. Okay, so let's do, there's no equal. Let's say 15 to, I don't know, 250. That should give us I think that'll give us a slider. It might not, but anyway. So as this changes, let's say float current resource distance equals 150, and then we'll do update. Just put it up here for now for testing. So if current resource distance does not equal, let's do it the other way around actually. Resource distance does not equal whatever we're trying to get it to, we'll go ahead and initiate a sort of change to camera cam equals camera.main. Let's see, camera layer cull spherical equals, I'm going to say false for that. No, I'm going to go with true, because I think that's, sometimes when you're moving, you're just rotating the camera, and you can see stuff popping on and off in games. That's because they're not using spherical culling. They're using a box, and that box changes with the angle. I think spherical prevents that, so I'll use spherical. And then I want to do, let's see. I did save, unfortunately, so it's going to recompile. I'll go ahead and save this as well. I just need to double check what layer resources are. I've actually got a global masks script resource layer is 15. Okay, so let's do culling distances, let's call it, and I want to do, I think, 15 equals resource distance. And then we'll do current resource distance equals resource distance. So that should update this, I believe. Not positive that's how that works. Maybe we could take a peek. Unity camera culling distance. You can normally get further away than the far clip plane. You can use layers. And yeah, you just set it up there. And it is the full 32. So if I do get, it should have all of them. Oh, and I have to reassign it, huh? Okay, so I'm just going to do a little debug here, make sure that it does populate that properly. Culling distances dot length should be a 32. And we will feed that back into the cam. Culling layer cull distances equals culling distances. Okay, so as we change our publicly available value exposed on our player, the script is going to pick that up and change it in real time, and we should see I kind of ditched my buddies after asking them to do that. If you find a fix, you should make it toggleable as an Easter egg. Let's see. We can do don't need you. So let's get up on a little hill so we can see a little bit further. All right, now I'm gonna go to my player environment, which I believe is pretty low down. Here we are. Resource distance. So you can see stuff disappearing as I drag this closer. And it is setting that up properly. So, you know, I think we can let people play with this as they so desire. This is what I meant by sort of a hard cap. If people really want to turn that down. I don't like it because it pops so much. This is at 64, so you can see rocks really popping up as I move around. But if you're on a lower end system, you really want to turn that stuff up, you can do that. Let's see if I can get much of a change in game. If I move it all the way up to 250, I'm at about 22 FPS in the editor, mind you. The editor is way slower than the real game. If I move it down to 15, I get up to about 30. Nope, still at about 20. 22, so I mean, you know, even if I turn those all the way down to 15, I'm at 22, 23. If I turn it all the way up, I'm still at 22, 23. The stuff's GPU instanced. It really shouldn't be much of a difference. We could just, you know, offer this as sort of an option if people want to play with it, but I did already update a bunch of shaders and LOD groups, so we would expect things to be running better. This is something I've wanted to fix for a long time. This sky aura really bothers me. So that was a nice test. I don't think I'm going to implement that though. We'll see how people feel about the improvements we made today already with the shaders and the LOD groups. See how that goes. I want to fix this if I can. Not sure what particular setting controls that. It's like the horizon color or something like that. Weather fog, sky fog. Course, my player environment, or is it player lighting? It's player lighting is going to be messing with this, so I'm going to turn that off so it doesn't overwrite my changes. And let's see, weather sky mod, no. Weather light mod, no. That's what's causing this red, but that should be fine for sunset. That's what's going off here. We're just coming out of sunset. I don't think it's cloud. I think it's fog. Let's see what happens when I turn this down. I'm going to copy what it was, so don't lose that. No. Not sure what is causing this. Low sky. I remember seeing it once though. Fog, sky fog intensity. I don't think that's it. Goes away as the sun goes down, so it's basically the sunset color. Does look like a fog though. There's this whole white area here. It looks like fog, doesn't it? So weather fog mod. Didn't I just change this? It didn't seem to have any effect. That looks like the color though. How come that didn't improve? Let's make it darker. Should be shifting from this to black at about this time. And this is just the mod, so we're actually shifting from, well, it's 180 alpha. We're actually going to be shifting from this guy's base fog settings, right? Simple fog color. What if we turn user down a bit? Well, that's height fog anyway. It's not what we're using. Fog mode, use simple fog, simple color, blah, 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 render, blah, blah, blah. Weather controls. There should be a base fog color. I guess that's lighting, huh? There it is. Okay. So we need to be changing. Look at how much better that looks. That looks like a night sky. Not this. So we're not controlling our fog color along with the time properly enough, huh? Did I change anything else in here I need to change back? I don't think so. I did just change. Height fog actually isn't being used, so that doesn't matter. I did turn, oops, didn't mean to do that either. Well, it's like that now. Yeah, these guys were set like this. 5 minutes to lunch, and we're actually setting, let's close this stuff we're not using down. Fixed all of you, not player environment, it's player lighting. I want to look at fog. There's nothing in fog here. It's not environment though, right? Fog. No. Player lighting, and that is it, right? Other than that, the only thing messing with fog is the camera fog, which I believe is right here. Let's just do a little double check here. Render settings dot fog color is what I'm looking for. Just do a find all references to see who player lighting. That's the one I just made. Terrains manager. Okay, so I don't think anybody's controlling it manually by in the way that we want to yet. Weather fog mod evaluate is all that we're using. Okay, so I changed it to hard set it based on this, huh? And I have found in the past that actually, for example, well, no, you can't see it here. I don't think that this actually represents day like we expecting it to here. Where did we noticed that somewhere before? Or did I change them all to this because we found this to be the proper response? Some of these were set so that it was like at the halfway mark. And I changed them all to be like this. Was that correct? Let's see. I'm going to turn the opacity up to here. 100% for all of these guys. So this should have full control over the color of the fog. Black is not really what we want for night, but just want to do some quick testing to try and find. I guess I'll turn that down and let's see where we can get this to actually see. It's not. It does eventually start to fade out here, but it doesn't look like it's using this as I would expect it to. Current weather preset should be noted as, where do we see that? Component weather controls is coral weather. That's correct. Current weather is cloudy 1. How did that happen? Well, there it took over immediately and did what we wanted. I'm going to turn the time back once more here. Whoops. Sneeze coming on. Why did Kitty sneezing in unison with me? Okay, so the fog is... Oops, I paused it. Fog is... a little too strong. I guess the cloud coverage is a bit too strong, really, is what's going on here. But that's, again, being controlled by my player lighting. Let's turn that off for a second. It is off. Oh, it's going better there now, but, well, definitely some work to be done with this. We don't want it to be going black, for one thing. You know, sort of like a gray would not be terrible. I was kind of just hoping to find the actual point. I don't actually need that. The actual point at which see, it's using this one quite heavily, even though we're at 10 o'clock. You would expect it to be using it over here. So this scale is really not what I think it is, I believe. It's evaluating 10 o'clock like over here somewhere. So I don't really understand how that works. This is 22 p.m. But I'm the one that wrote it, so it should be evaluating the gradient based on calculate color at a given time using float. Is that a 0 to 1 float, or is, I mean, it should be, right? 0 to 1. It can't not be that. Let's do color, gradient, evaluate, unity. Time of key 0 to 1. And we're doing get time of day, current time in hours with UTC time offset. I don't have any UTC time offset set up. So it should be giving me 0 to 24, and then I'm dividing that by 24. So we would expect 10 o'clock to be, you know, over here, 22 o'clock out of 24. But that would give us gray, which we're not getting. So I'm going to have this debug the number that it's getting for that. And let's go ahead and just do this one. Because that's not acting as I would expect it to, and that's really the only place that we are changing fog. We're setting fog color when we go underground after we turn this script off. This is just make-believe. We didn't actually want to do that. I do want to test that. I guess it's just our first step. I've already messed the fog up, and that's fine. Lunchtime has come. My wife's still working away, though. I'll wait till she notices that she's hungry, I guess. 'Cause I'm doing all right. So this is going to spam the console a bit. Yeah, and that's a little bit off because of a bit of time dilation that I do use. I paused you, sir. You can stop doing that. No, that's runs in the editor anyway. Doesn't matter. So we do need to adjust that a bit, but it is giving me more or less the expected results. I'm confused as to how it got to this red fog after 22-ish. Is it going to suddenly swap into that here in 30 minutes? Or are we once again not using current weather cloudy 3? Huh, yeah, okay, so that's not how this is supposed to be going. We're supposed to only ever be on here now. I've got something interfering with that, but look at this. It's starting to get red. And we're evaluating at 21. There's no red over here at 21 divided by 24. I'm stupid, so I'm just going to do it. 21 divided by 24, 0.875. That's like right over here. How are we getting red out of that? It's odd. Very odd. It's giving us like over here somewhere. Am I getting this math wrong somehow? Am I stupid? Time of the key, 0 to 1. Are we going backwards? Is that what's going on here? That's kind of what it looks like, huh? Like this is 1 and this is 0. Oh. Cat bed fell. Why would anybody want that though? That makes no sense. Let's make this green. Huh. Okay, so fog is working, but cloud color is making use of this red to generate its own coloring somewhere where I have not changed it to actually go like this. Is there another evaluate or 2 or 3 in here somewhere? Scattering coefficient, that's not what I'm talking about. Ambient light intensity. Volume clouds ambient color. Volume, clouds, color, moon color, light intensity, attenuation clamp, weather fog mod. This is the one that I'm messing with. Let's look at you, I guess. Find all references. Enviro core. Tabeo. Anyway, progress. So this is properly making use of this, which is what I was looking for, and we should expect to be over here in the green. So that's fine and well. For some reason, though, Dosan. Cat's buging. A little darker than that for night, definitely. Will look good, but why is the clouds evaluating this differently? Evaluating the position on this scale differently. But I'll figure it out. It's got to be one of these references here. Weather Manager is my own stuff. So it's got to be this sky bit here. Anyway, I'll figure it out, and hopefully I'll get some response as to our nipple problems. I think everybody's probably asleep right now, East Coast or something like that. And hopefully those shader and level of detail upgrades will give better performance for people. If not, we can incorporate some more sliders for better control over that stuff. I can think of some good ways to go about that. So I'll keep working on that today, and I was stuck in VS View for a long time there, wasn't I? Sorry, I wasn't showing that in game. Anyway, we'll be back in the morning. I'm going to keep working on this stuff after lunch, and hopefully have some good news when we show up tomorrow morning. So thanks again, Art, for all